What is going on, Wolfpack Nation? We are back. We are here. We're
Only
going to talk
because we
about
have
it.
to. I'm only here
Yeah,
so I don't
only-
get fined, Leighton.
Exactly. No, just like I said in the tweet. I mean, definitely not a live show that I, to be honest with you, have been looking forward to, but it's one that we need to have. And Greg, I mean, obviously, and Macon and Ken's, all y'all know that, here at Tuffy Talk, and all of our viewers here know that us here at Tuffy Talk, we are always very prideful on focus on the positive for sure. And there is a lot of positive outside of NC State football. And there, I'm sure there probably is.
Well, let's go
positive
right
with
to that
NC
then.
State
But
football.
today,
But today,
It's not that day.
Talking about the negatives.
oh God, y'all, I mean,
I'm just gonna wait for the what really grinds my gears segment.
I
yeah.
don't know if I'm
I
like
don't know what to do with my
foreshadowing
hand.
wearing all black. Like I don't
Yes.
like no. It's
Me
definitely
too,
not
Greg.
slimming, but it's necessary.
Yes. No, slimming is the right way to look at it. Yeah. Because it's definitely depressing here today for sure. As oh man, I mean, just
Oy vey.
I mean,
Okay, we were 4-3 last year. We're fine.
but again, here, all right, then let's get right to it. All right. So the immediate
Just
thing
rip
which
the Band-Aid off.
the immediate
rip
thing
it
I'll
off.
say right back to all these comparisons about last year versus this year.
Not the same.
Last year, we felt really good about the defense. Defense was playing elite last year. The issue last year wasn't the team as a whole, it was that we couldn't score points. This year, defense not where it needs to be. Offense
Carson's comment.
just
sorry.
rough. We need a bye week right now. We need a few bye weeks. We need a whole offseason again to refigure things out is what we need. Yeah. So that's my immediate pushback is, but I do understand that. And hey, listen, if there's anything we learned about last season and then this basketball season, it's to never give up for sure. But I'm sitting here saying that if you wanted to really put yourself in the ACC championship contending opportunity, you had to deliver against Clemson because now you are really moving uphill and you don't have a lot of really any momentum now to do it.
There's no margin for error at this point.
There's zero margin for error, and there's so many questions that have to be answered, unfortunately. And unfortunately, it doesn't get any easier. You say, well, guess what? We get to play NIU. We get a little, easy game, to figure some things out, right? Nope. NIU is the furthest thing from an easy
They're
game.
not going to have any sympathy for us.
No, absolutely not. They're ready to kick us while we're down. And hey, I wouldn't expect anything different.
Well, yeah.
So,
I mean, if you think about it, they had a tough loss against Buffalo in overtime this past weekend, and so they desperately need to get back in the win column just like us.
Well, especially too because I mean, if they lose this game, then I think from NIU side you say, oh, okay, well maybe obviously that loss to Notre Dame was just a fluke. They're not actually that good; it was just a fluke. So I think this is kind of one of those games where they're trying to, prove the haters wrong that no, it wasn't a fluke. We are a really good team. So, but also too, again, just kind of getting to it is that, and because here's my thing as well, and maybe I'll let you kind of comment on this first. Is that if we were to win out the rest of the season, if we were to win every single game, the rest of our schedule, which obviously, as we can probably guess, is probably not going to happen. But if it did, my immediate thing would be, well, where was this the first 4 games? Because you can literally win out the rest of the season and still probably not even make it to the ACC championship game if Clemson and Miami take care of business.
Yeah, I think Leighton made a comment like they had to win this game for AC championships. I don't know that's totally true just yet because
I didn't say had to, but more than likely had to.
Because the schedule is relatively easy. It's easier. Like that's your toughest AC opponent moving forward, right? So,
yes.
And for me, I've seen State. Turn the season around last season. I feel like we're here. And I totally agree with you, though. The difference is the defense right now. And I don't know what that is. I think it's interesting that some people are like talking about like maybe State was only so good because they had Peyton Wilson. That 22 season, they didn't have Peyton Wilson that season.
Exactly.
I mean, So I don't really think I don't think it's a Peyton Wilson thing. So I kind of
Not
think that
totally,
narrative
not
is
totally. Yeah.
I mean, he's a great player, right? But their defense was a
Good.
really good defense. I thought, if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure the 22 team was pretty good defense. So
You had Drake on that team. You had Isaiah.
You did.
Like, you had other pieces.
Tanner Angle.
Yeah, you did. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna say you didn't. You did. You definitely did. But there's like, to me, the guys have to step up on defense. There has to be somebody. Like, I mean, there's right now. It's to me, it's Davin Van kind of
Caden.
right now, and I mean, to me, Caden's just been okay right now. Like, he's not been super great. I know Sean Brown hasn't really super impressed me. He's done pretty good.
They're serviceable.
Yeah, serviceable. There's no like to me dude's a stud right now. And I thought that'd be Aiden White, right? Golly, Aiden White does not look good right now. And I mean, I don't know what it is. I know he can play that way. I know he can play better. It's just not where it needs to be, in my opinion, for sure.
Yep.
And it's a team effort, right? It's not any one person.
Nope.
So they collectively look really bad, in my opinion. And it was like Swiss cheese against Clemson. And that really worries me, right? I mean, Swiss cheese. And it was, to me, the difference, what reason we lost that game were fundamentals. You weren't tackling. They were calling you out on TV about it. You weren't hitting your right gaps, in my opinion. Like, you weren't fitting the right gaps, or you're doing something wrong. And then taking care of the football, like on offense, like to me, that like if you had taken the 2 turnovers we had, and let's just say we go down and score, and they don't get the ball to Clemson to score, their own extra set of points, like that's not like the game could be much closer, right? And it'd be a totally different dynamic going throughout the rest of the game. However, Clemson, our state was also playing against Clemson's second and third string guys. So maybe Clemson doesn't put those guys in if the game's closer. They wouldn't. I don't know how the game plays out. But to me, we lost that game because of fundamental things in football. Taking care of the football, tackling, defending, knowing your gaps. And the crazy thing to me was, if I had to pick offense or defense, the reason we lost is because of defense. Like the offense.
100%.
Chance.
A minute and a half letting Kate run it all the way in. Like,
it was like
it looked like
a brand new car and pulling off the lot, and immediately all the 4 tires, fall off the car. The engine blows up.
We forgot to attach the lug nuts.
The windshield breaks. It was terrible. Yeah, the only thing that was good to me, honestly,
the wipers worked.
CJ Bailey, I thought looked pretty good. I thought
CJ Bailey was the only highlight of that game.
And then the other part of it, to me, honestly, was I thought the offensive play calling was good. I didn't think the offensive play calling was bad. I really didn't. I thought there was good plays there. I thought that I thought the defense sucked. Honestly, it was terrible. It really stunk. So,
yeah. Well, we'll get into it, but Kens, what's your initial thoughts on that? If we were to go win out the rest of the season, do you feel like you would have a little bit of that frustration, being like, why didn't we see this in the beginning of the season, which really was what we all said was the key part of the season for this team?
I mean, this is one of what grinds my gears things. I agree.
Hold on. Let's we're gonna do it right.
You know what really grinds my gears?
Okay. I understand that everybody's frustrated. I get it. We've played like absolute crap. I get it. 100%. But I can guarantee you 99.9% of fans and people in general had us 2-2 right now. And if you said you didn't, you're me, and that's the only other person that had it. I promise.
I didn't have us 2-2.
You had us 4-0?
I did.
You're that 0.101
okay.
talking about.
Because I've been hanging out with you too long. That's
you have. Unless you're me or Greg, you had us 2-2 or 3-1. So why are you mad that we're 2-2? Yes, I get how we've played, but it's also.
I'll counter that.
Oh, go ahead.
It's not that we're 2-2; it's how we're 2-2.
Yeah, how we're playing.
We were down 17-6 at halftime to Louisiana Tech.
Yeah,
we were down 21-0 in the end of the first quarter against Clemson.
I watched it. The thing that's most frustrating is the fact that it's like our team gives up after the first quarter every time. And it's like CJ was the only person that I watched against Clemson that did not have his head down the entire, like for the rest of the second half. He came out, he made his plays, he did what he needed to do, even though the offensive line was not helping him do what he needed to do. He was trying as hard as he could to keep that offense up and running. So I just think the things can be fixed, but it's like you're running out of time to fix them. And I think this game coming up is a game that they would have all overlooked, and now it's like this is a must win in order to keep it rolling.
Not getting too far ahead of the schedule, but I'm just looking at it. It's not. I mean, we said it was going to be easy, earlier in the season, like before the season started. I mean, you get other than Wake, someone has had a nice win. And then you probably can't say Carolina hasn't had a good win, and they just got destroyed by JMU. Our founding fathers are proud tonight. But
oh man,
I mean, Syracuse had a nice win against Georgia Tech. Cal's had some nice wins. They beat Auburn. They should have probably beat Florida State. They're potentially. Stanford went to Syracuse, which is not, as good or bad as Syracuse is or isn't. It's still not an easy place to play. Duke really hasn't done anything. Georgia Tech, I still don't know what to make of them. But it's, again, point is, this is not as easy as we thought it was going to be.
Well, one thing, which is
what really grinds my gears?
Well, I have another
is that
keep it rolling.
If anybody knows me, is the fact that I love stirring that UNC rivalry pot. I love poking. I love pointing at it. I love just riling up those fans and just getting those juices flowing. And there's nothing I would love to do right now than sit here on the Tuffy Talk live show, look right into this camera, and point out that you gave up 70 points, UNC, to a Sunbelt team, that you now have lost straight up 8 games since 2020. 8 games since 2020 as double-digit favorites. So you have lost 8 games as double-digit favorites straight up. But at the end of the day, I can't say a daggone thing right now. I can't. Like literally, I went to church, which has a lot of UNC fans.
I think we all need church right now.
And literally, me and all of the UNC fans we just had an agreement. We're just not going to talk football.
Just not
today.
at each other.
It's just not even going to be.
I saw a tweet. I think ESPN put out a tweet, or somebody did, that the state of North Carolina is in the Great Depression right now because it's
terrible.
It was bad.
Football all around is bad, except for Andy Dalton. But that's just during conversations.
We're back. We're so back.
Anyways, but it's bad, dude. I mean,
it's a bad week.
It really is like, well, it could be worse. You could be UNC losing to JMU, which shout out to my in-laws who are JMU alums. But
there's a rumor out there that Carolina was paying JMU $10,000 a point for that game. I don't know how true it is.
I think they paid him $500,000. I think they paid JMU $500,000.
You know that GIF where the guy's like, "Now somebody bring me my money." Have you seen that GIF? That's JMU's coach, right?
Yeah, but you're right. You're right.
We can't say a daggone thing.
We can't say a dang thing.
Nope.
Nothing. No, I will. Only the last thing I want to say about that. Did anyone see the actual tweet that they put out with the final score?
Did UNC put out?
Yeah.
No.
Oh my gosh.
Hilarious.
Like, you have to go look at it. Look for the score. Look at the score.
Anyway, while I bring that up.
I'll do my other one.
Go ahead. You do your grind. Go ahead.
Oh, wait. You talking about that?
Yeah.
How you can't even see the score?
You can't even see the numbers.
You can't even see it.
I didn't see that. That's funny.
That's funny.
That is crazy.
I mean, you gotta have a little sense of humor with. I mean, obviously that was intentional, but it was still pretty funny.
Before we get to Kansas, another one of Kansas, really grinds my gears. Quick, I want to touch on a couple of comments here real quick. Children saying, "Why do we always have to suck first, though, before we get it together?" That's a great question.
We don't like doing nothing easy.
Our coaches are just that. Never mind.
Yep. Mark saying, "I'm glad no depth chart was released. I'm interested to see who takes the field Saturday on both sides of the ball." We'll talk about that a little bit here as well. NC State is one of the worst run defenses in the Power 4. No chance NC State wins out. I mean, definitely a more likely possibility.
Very
but
valid point.
Very valid point. Chillin saying, "Is it too late to have open tryouts?" I mean, for what position? You know, like that's the
Well,
question.
I mean, you said you were going to get into it a little bit, but it almost sounds like that based off of Doran's press conference that position battles were being reopened this week, and that you're going to see some guys. Yeah, at least on the defensive side. He didn't really talk about that from an offensive perspective, but who knows?
I mean, what Chilton said, at least Dave didn't try to quit his job after the Clemson game.
That's another thing I would love to bring up. That's another thing I would love to talk about. I can't say nothing. So
that shocked me when I read
they get a free pass this week.
They do. They get 100% free pass. Cards saying defense looks undisciplined. They need to clear leader. That is 100% a concern right now.
They don't look. But they just don't look like. They don't look like. They don't look good. They don't look good right now. Like, it's like it doesn't come across like the talents doesn't seem to be there. Like, and they are, right. Aiden White and Davin Van are great players. Like, that. And, but I'm not really seeing it flash, right? And obviously I know talk about later probably, but Red Hibbler's not with the team now. So that's a thing. And Trevally Price has got to step up. I mean, his moments, right. But not high level play, I would say, in my opinion, from like many guys, Caden, Devon Betty, Sean Brown, I think has had good moments, but just it's not fundamentals. Like I guess your point. So
those holes were so open that my 16-year-old granddaughter, who's only been walking for about 4 or 5 months, could have probably ran through and scored touchdowns. It just was that bad. I know Eric McLean had pulled a picture from someone, and there was one play.
I'm gonna pull
you have it. It's just.
I'm gonna grab it. I'm gonna grab it.
Yeah. It looked like flag. It looked like 7-on-7 drills where you don't touch the quarterback.
Yeah, no, it was terrible. So, but while I pull that up here, Cans, we'll go and jump to your
really grinds my gears.
Part 2.
Yeah, this is
part 2.
Okay. I think we all owe. If the rumors that we're hearing are true about a certain somebody leaving after week 4, we all owe MJ an apology. Because I feel like we lost our minds for him leaving after week 6, 7, maybe 8, week 4, and you're already saying you're done. That's a whole different level.
Well, let's not jump to conclusions there until the whole story potentially comes out, because there's a lot of rumors. And
I know that's why I said if, but it's like.
Yeah, but you're going down a slippery slope.
Yeah.
It's just I don't understand it.
Well,
I don't get why that's a new trend that's going around in college football.
Oh, if you're not talking specifically about us, but yeah, no, I mean they want to preserve red shirts, potential red shirts. So I get it from that aspect. I don't agree with it, but I get it.
Yeah, but yeah, that picture you're talking about, Greg.
Yeah,
like look at that. Look at those holes.
I mean, which one do you want to take?
Yeah, do you want to take the huge one in the middle, the huge one on the left, or the huge one on the right? Which one do you want? Yeah, so
that's how you vote.
Just disgusting to say the least. But
it didn't even look like we prepared for the game. It didn't look like
no. What do you? Of course, we were down 21-0 at the end of the first quarter. We weren't prepared.
They scored their first touchdown a minute into the game.
Yeah, it was too easy. It was everything was easy,
and no one touched him. That's our defense's issue is they don't try to tackle. They try to knock the ball out of their hands, and that's the most frustrating thing to watch. It's like tackle them.
Yeah,
I don't.
I mean, Greg, you literally drove from your home in Virginia. You drove all the way down. You had to park. You had to walk. God knows how far to the stadium. Had to go to your seats. You had to do all of that and get your own food, get your own hotel, everything like that. Yeah. And you were more prepared for that game than the team was, who flew here in a probably 45-minute puddle jump, had buses take them and everything like that. You were more prepared than they were for that game, which is what honestly bugs me. What's like, because again, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again. What's the excuse? Like, what's the, like, if we had this, we would have played better. Like, if we had this, like, I mean, as far as I know, you were pretty much 99% healthy besides Grayson McCall. You didn't have to face Def Valley at night. You got to face them early in the season.
It wasn't even a sellout.
No, it wasn't even a sellout. And again, you faced, it's still, in my opinion, one of the most questionable Clemson teams in Dabo's tenure. Now, I mean, because again, I'm still not necessarily sold on how good Clemson is because honestly, again, they
they're
played
solid. They're there's 100% they're solid.
Good. They're really good. It should be honestly, in my opinion, right now, it's Miami Clemson in the championship game.
Yeah.
Yes.
Agreed.
Yes, but I still think Miami wins pretty easily. If
My point is, it's not NC State there right now. That's the part that frustrates me.
No, that's my thing. Yeah, absolutely, I 100% agree. So
can I ask a question real quick? And maybe it's maybe I don't know if is a better time to ask this.
Go for it.
So, let's say you think it is the talent level on the team right now. Let's just say it is. So NIL is $8
million.
How you contribute, right? What I'm getting at is fans' natural reaction, and rightfully so, is to be like, "Hey, like I'm not giving money to that. Like I'm not doing this."
Sure, live in mediocrity then.
Right.
Sorry,
that's what we get at. That's what we get at.
I'm not trying to cut you off,
but
yeah.
Go ahead, Leighton.
Well, the one point though I make to that though is at the end of the day, when anybody gives money, they're essentially investing, right?
Correct.
Correct. And so at the end of the day, if I am not feeling like I trust Doran and Co. with my money to that I will see a positive investment in it, then I need you to prove me otherwise. That's the thing. Is like, Greg, is I understand that. Listen, I worked hard for my money, and so at the end of the day, I don't necessarily just want to blind give my money when I don't feel like it's going to be used properly. And as of right now, I'm not seeing my money used properly. Isn't that a fair synopsis so far? Isn't that fair?
It is. That's the thing. Go ahead.
No, I agree with you, Leighton.
If you're solely taking that approach, all right, and we've had this conversation, especially on this channel, there is more, especially from the Savage Wolves in Wolfpack NIL things. It's not just about blindly handing money, and we talked about it, I think, last week, and we don't need to keep having this conversation every week, but it is where we're at from a competitive standpoint, if you will. It's a membership where you get value in return, and again, your opinion of value is different than my opinion. I'm not one to tell people how to spend their money. I feel like I get good value for what I'm paying. All right, and I'm okay with that. Experiences, exactly. We're all in this for different reasons. Some people are in it to win ball games. Some people, whatever. All I know is 2 weeks ago, I had my son was on the sidelines of a game and he was living his best life. Yeah, and to me, that's invaluable. I would have thrown more money at that if they made.
And I'm not even touching that side of the argument.
Yeah, I know you are.
That's an obvious donate for that. Go get involved. What I'm getting at is, it's the first time fans have an opportunity to directly impact what you see on the field, right? And that's the crazy thing here. Your natural inclination is, I don't like the return on investment here. I want to kind of stay away from, I'm not going to donate to that, so to speak. But if you really don't like what you see, you also can directly contribute to bring in the talent you want to see. Like you wanted to. Like I think people talked about it before, like Tennessee is a program that 5 years ago was not really that great, and they really invested in NIL, and boom, they are kind of what they are now, and that they're one of the top 5 program, top 10 for sure. Yeah. So I think fans could look at it in different ways. They could look at it in the approach of, like Leighton said, I don't like the return on investment I'm seeing right now. Granted, it's really early in the season and things can change. And I think we all said Tony Gibson's one of the best DCs in the ACC, if not the country. And I've already seen a season where he didn't have Peyton Wilson. Granted, he had Drake Thomas, Isaiah Moore, all those guys. But Cheyenne Battle, but he's a good coach. He can make it happen. I also think if you're a fan, you could take the other approach of, hey, I don't like what I see, and I really want to try to get better talent on there. Because if I really think it's a talent item,
that's how you do it.
Because I don't know. It's how you view it, right?
If you're talking about it from a defensive,
look at it.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. You look at it. Each player that came in, they were solid. Jordan Waters was a beast at Duke. Justin Jolie was a beast at UConn. Like we had Noah Rogers. Like that speaks for itself. You have guys coming in. So like I don't think it's a talent issue. I just feel like right now our players had a coming to Jesus meeting. I really think it's the coach's turn. I think
I could agree. And that's the thing. That's the thing with coaching that we as fans can't directly impact, right? Because we don't do the NIL doesn't touch them. It's just is it coaching?
Yeah,
it very well could be. But if we're talking about the defenses, we both agree that we all say Tony Gibson's one of the best out there. So I don't think it's him. Maybe it is. I don't know.
Well, and I want to clarify too as well that more of what I'm talking about as well is like those incentives, such as after the UNC game where Doran called out saying I want 100 or 100 people to donate $1,000 or blah, like that money it doesn't necessarily go towards your benefits. So I'm sitting here first and foremost saying, listen, Savage Wolves, Wolfpack NIL, the things they offer is 100% amazing. It is invaluable as an in-state fan. Go sign up for it for sure. But in order to meet the budgeting requirements that we need right now from an NIL perspective, it's going to come either one of two ways. Either we significantly increase the amount of members that Savage Wolves and Wolfpack NIL has ASAP, or those members that are currently involved donating a good bit extra. And so that's the frustration for me as a fan that has donated extra and has taken those steps forward, because I really do believe and still do believe in this football program in general. Is that's where my frustration lies, is the buy-in beyond the value I'm necessarily paying for to try and help this team get an ACC championship. And it does frustrate me, Greg, that in this post-game press conference, which we'll talk a little bit about here later, because I have a snippet here in particular we're going to talk about, is the fact that Doran not one time has mentioned that a frustration in putting this team in a huge uphill battle now to get that goal of ACC championship. Because I like, that's one thing I want him to say, is that like that is a huge frustration of mine, is that we are not, it doesn't seem like we're on that path to competing for ACC championship right now. That's my frustration.
Yeah. My buddy Chung's in here, talking about some of the play calling and coaching and all of that. Look, if you have assistants and coordinators and all of that, let them do their job. If you trust them, let them do their job. If they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing,
take over,
replace them, whatever you need to do. I don't know what it is, right? So we spent a lot of time and money on the offensive side of the ball. We didn't do as much on the defensive side of the ball. You see that the defense is getting gouged and gashed at times. In the 3-3-5, you really rely on linebacker play. I don't know if we talked about those linebackers that we've had. We've been really spoiled with linebackers. Is that a thing?
Yes, we have.
What
the 3-3-5 defense highlights linebackers.
It does. You have to be really good in that area. And there's a reason why that Drake is in the NFL, Peyton is in the NFL, Isaiah would have been in the NFL had it not been for his bad knees. Having bad luck with knee injuries. That's three dudes that you had from 2020 or 2019. I think even Peyton goes back to 2019 if memory serves me correctly. Right. So you had a Peyton Wilson, a Drake Thomas, or Isaiah Moore for the last 6 years up until this year. So you had one of those guys in your lineup at all times.
And every one of those guys took that leadership role seriously. And I think that's what that defense side of the ball is missing. Like I see,
great point, Kenzie.
I see Davin showing moments of being a captain, but looking on the sideline, Peyton was always in faces. Drake was always in faces. It was just like they were coaching them up when they weren't on the field. And you look at it now, and it's like our defense is just sitting there.
Yeah, I remember a video from probably 22, maybe 21, where there was it was like one of those behind the scenes, and the guys are in like the shower of like a halftime, just kind of like
it was for the Carolina with Tanner. I think it was them.
Yeah. So you saw guys like Drake and Tanner just going at it, and I'm not saying that's not happening now. So I don't want to put that into the atmosphere, but those were vocal dudes. Someone has to take accountability.
And they even said it on ACC the kickoff when they came to state. Like they even asked that Davin, because he says he's a quiet guy. He's getting out of his shell. Like he has to, if he's taking that captain position and that leadership role, he's got to be able to put people in their spot, but also be able to hype them up at the same time.
But he can't do it up by himself. There's more than one.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't see, like you could last year you would see Who's the leader on defense? Everybody's saying Peyton Wilson, easily. He's probably one of the leaders on the entire team. I don't think of a single name when I think of leadership on defense. That really stands out.
It should be Van and White, in my opinion.
Yeah. And White is one of the captains, right? I believe he is.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
I would say so. Well, and one thing which I want to point out even too, y'all, of every single player that played at least one snap on defense against Clemson, do you know who had the lowest PFF grade?
It's got to be Aiden White.
I think it's Aiden White.
Got to be Aiden White.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Davin Van. 39.3 grade. 39.3.
Wow, that's actually pretty telling.
And I don't know how they come to those grades and all of that, but there's always more to the story. Look, no one on that defense played well on Saturday.
Aiden White is not a captain.
Okay. Who's the other? So I know Zeke, McCall, Van,
and
Waters.
Yeah, McCall's, Carell, Van, and Brown. Sean Brown.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Sean Brown. Yep.
Yeah.
So where's Sean Brown? So that's my frustrating thing is that for Davin Van is being a leader to have the lowest grade in arguably the biggest game of the year is just like
he just can't do it alone though. That's the thing.
No, but it's like I need you to lead by example. I need you to get a 38.
He's had his moments, but it's like I'm ready to see him be consistent in those moments. Like he was last year. Like he had a moment against Tennessee for that pick six. But
honestly, I think I might be wrong. I'm going to pull it up, but I think he and Isaiah Shirley are the only ones that have sacks on this team.
Yes. No. Again, it's deep.
Sorry, Brandon Cleveland has a half a sack.
Okay. Yeah. But
John Brown has a sack too. Okay, so I was wrong. So, but
and that's White, 4 games, and so does Brandon Cisse.
No, there's only 4 sacks in 4 games.
Yeah,
I know.
Ricky, what's up? Go Pack.
He's a Florida State fan. Don't.
Hey, okay, that's okay. I'll take it.
It could be worse. You could be a Florida State fan. So
hey, that's right. That's what I'm saying. I'm like.
They spend a lot more money than we did.
Yeah.
Anyway, we can't make fun of them. They won.
State fan
they won last weekend.
We can.
They won last weekend.
They won.
And Greg, you got your friend the Clemson fan Jonathan Hall in the chat.
Yeah,
so
I
Greg,
found him.
Thanks for stopping by. We don't play a few times. Play for a few years. I'll be sure to be in Raleigh and hope for some Canes games too in baseball. So appreciate you hosting them, Jonathan.
Clemson and State play this year in baseball. If I'll come up and we'll tailgate.
Let me just kind of put a bow on it. I think with Tennessee and Clemson, we knew those are the 2 best teams on our schedule.
Yeah.
To me, the gap is just so evident right now between where we think. To me, the way I kind of viewed the first month, we are not who we thought we were. It's the way I view NC State right in the football right now, and I think that clip.
Denny Green.
We are who they thought they were. We thought they were. Yeah, but it's like. We're not, right? We thought we were a top 75 ranked team, and we're just not. And we thought we were really now. Granted, we beat Clemson, 2 out of the last 3 years before this game even started. Like at home. Yeah. I know, but they beat us at home. They haven't beaten us at our place in a few years. So I get it. It's been 20 years since we beat them at their place. I just think that the difference between our 2 programs, is just a canyon right now, and I really want to see us get there. I know the coaching staff does too. I'll tell you anything. I'd be really curious to know what Boo Corrigan thinks about it. Because he was on the CFP committee last year, and I know it really matters to him too.
He was there this weekend.
Yeah, I'd just be curious what his thoughts are moving forward. I will say, let me ask you this question. Well, you know what? I don't want to open another can of worms. I know you got things you want to go do, Leighton, but
leave.
No. Well, probably what you're about to say is exactly what I'm actually about to bring up, which is, so would have been great after 12 years if Dave resigned after the game. What we've had for 12 years is as good as it's going to get.
No.
Now,
hold on. Before we say anything, like we have, hold on. I have to get his title right here. Because the title is important.
Okay.
We have Josh Goodson. By the way, if you need a good mortgage, go hit up Josh Goodson. I know he's not paying us to say that, but that's my guy. So
Yep.
I'll always pitch for him. But he is now officially titled. All right, here we go. Dave's Defender. So this is Josh Gooden, Dave's Defender. If you don't follow Josh on Twitter, you're missing out on some good content because he will go toe to toe. It's like they say, everyone has a plan until they get hit by Mike Tyson. Everyone has a plan until they cross Josh Goodson on Twitter. So go give him a follow. Anyway, go ahead. Give us this clip.
Well, real quick before we get to the clip, my thought and my question is that there's no doubt with Doran that the floor is higher than it arguably ever has within the NC State football program. Where I even was listening.
The ceiling is not the roof, is what you're saying.
Well, I'm getting there. But so, and it was actually on Ovies and Giglio where they, where somebody called in and State fan basically talked about how, they remember the days where, they would get, donkey stomped is my phrase, by UNC and ECU and blah, blah, blah. And just would be, almost 50-50, even maybe a little bit behind those schools. But now with Doran, overall, if you don't necessarily look at how we won, aka ECU 2022, at the end of the day, Doran has a very good record versus those schools. So the floor is definitely raised, and obviously the fact that we've had the second, I believe, highest amount of ACC wins over the last 5 years versus any other ACC team. So again, the floor is raised. But I truly do ask the question because, again, my thing is, what's the excuse, which is a ceiling of an ACC championship truly in Doran's potential? Is that ceiling truly there?
So here's my answer to that. I'm going to steal the answer. I'm going to steal don't take the first here.
Yep.
I personally believe the answer is yes. However.
But why? Why do you think
hasn't it happened yet? Because he's been, there's been like little things over that have kept him out of the way. Like, right, being an AC game is not something that you do every year, every other year. Some programs that maybe are better than us have had that happen to them, right? So, but for NC State, for have that happen, 2 times in a 12-year span, I think is probably reasonable to think you can. And I think there's been a couple moments that have phased out of, or have a couple of moments that have stolen that away from State. I think he can, but my thing is, I don't know if it's as dynamic of a ceiling as I would like for State to be. I think State can really get there in an ACC that seems consistently down, and I just don't know what it's going to take for him to get there. So part of me does lean that he can do it, but man, it's just like when you haven't done it for 12 years, what are we waiting on? Like,
what's it going to take?
Yeah, we're just going to keep saying it, and you have to. That is still the goal, right? But
absolutely,
truly, what is it going to take to get there? Because you had the defensive player of the year, you had a first round offensive tackle, you've had, I think
there's been talent, to your point.
Talent, yeah. You've had
the talent.
You've got a guy who was arguably probably top first, second round cornerback in Aiden White, and he doesn't look that great right now. And
the knock, if you will, for State for the better part of the last 10 to, well, we'll go more than that. We'll go 15 to 20. You've always had one unit was always better than the other, clearly above and beyond. Whether it was the Russell Wilson years where the defense was down, you've had years in the last 6-7 years where the defense has been up, the offense hasn't quite been there. And then it's always just seemed like a little fluky thing, right? We talked about it, the Miami game a few years ago where guy's helmet doesn't come off and he doesn't recover the ball. There's a, thing there. Devin Carter catches a pass in that game. You have the, Mecca Mezzi fumbling at the half-inch yard line that year. Then you have did the ball go 10 yards against Wake, on the onside kick a few years. We've sniffed it.
Sure.
But sniffing isn't good enough. Like, never mind.
We've always put ourselves.
Clip out of context. Somebody snapshot that and put it on Twitter X. Do it. Sniffing's not good enough.
We've always been in the position that we have to win a game in order to make it, and that shouldn't be what it is.
Yep.
Ricky,
Yeah.
what do y'all think the issue is?
Yeah.
Execution or game plan?
Well, again, and here's my thing. Here's my immediate thing I'll say right now is that I can we're never ones to call out specific players, for sure. I mean, like even me mentioning Davin Van isn't saying he's a bad player, a bad person, whatever it may be. It's just like, listen, like I know you expect more and I need more from you in that situation. But at the end of the day, there is serious concerns here from a coaching side. So listen, I'm going to focus 99.999% on that, because at the end of the day, if the coaching isn't there, then I can't expect the players to overcome,
Exactly.
bad coaching like this. We don't have, unfortunately, that Cam Newton that doesn't need a good coach to be successful. Like we have guys that also need good coaching as well in order to be successful.
But at the end of the day, you also have to define successful, right? Because you just used Cam Newton. He never won a championship. He was still successful, though. No.
And what? In Auburn?
Fans.
What are you talking about?
Auburn, yes. I thought you were talking about the pros. So
no, I'm talking college. Yeah, no, like he had Gene Chizik as a head coach, and where's he a head coach?
Here's what I think. Here's my answer. Yeah. The whole concept of players make plays.
Right.
If I had to pick, is it coaching or is it talent? I'm leaning talent is the problem, to be honest with you.
Right now?
Let's look at defense, right?
The coaches have a track record.
We have been pounding the table, blasting the horn of Tony Gibson is the best defensive coordinator in the ACC, right? Mm-hmm. Charlie Wiles was at Virginia Tech for decades producing defensive line talent. We've talked about how good a job DeForest has done on the safeties. Brian Mitchell with the corners has done great. Best cornerback coach we've had in 20 years, maybe. I don't know. Something like that. And all of a sudden we're going to say, oh, it's coaching? No, I don't think that's it. I really think some of it's talent on defensive end side of things.
I think some of it's just a player evaluation too. We dipped our toes in the NIL. Sometimes it's going to work, sometimes it's not going to work. You think that just because this one guy succeeded in this system or this, under this whatever in this league is what, coach, team, whatever, that doesn't always mean it's going to translate. Sometimes you have guys that just play really good in certain systems, and maybe that we're just not hitting on those guys. And then when you're going back to the NIL, if what we think is true, in the neighborhood of $2 to $3 million for football, you have to hit on those value players. If not, you're going to set your program back. We got guys that we're paying. They're not even sniffing the field. Dare you use the word sniff again? But
sniffing's not good enough.
Sniffing's not good enough. But so. Like you have to hit on these guys, yes. and they've changed their model. They have a quote unquote GM now that evaluates talent.
Yep. But I mean, at the end of the day though, too, I'm still sitting here saying Clemson isn't 21-0 at the end of the first quarter better, more talented than us.
That's what I'm saying. I think
that game should not have been 21-0.
No, that's on coaching.
Maybe it was a bad day. Maybe it was a bad day. It was a bad day, right?
Look.
I mean, they scored in the first minute. I don't think they bounced back from that right after it. I really don't.
If you believe what Coach Doeren said at his press conference today, which you have to take it at face value, because he has no reason to lie to us. He said they were prepared for everything but the Cade Klubnik run. Like they nothing that they saw was nothing that they didn't see during film study.
So that's true. Then what is it?
It's what you said, isn't it, Macon? It's not players going out to execute. And I'm not blaming CJ Bailey. The coaches didn't fumble, right?
Casey Concepcion is not Dave Doran, right? Casey Concepcion get the ball stripped from him. It happens.
It's football.
Yeah, no, and again, obviously, I'm not sitting here saying that there is
another thing correctly in order to not fumble from the quarterback.
And I'm not saying there's not problems from the player side. I'm just sitting here saying that.
But they're human too. I mean, they're going to make mistakes.
Any quarterback who got sacked, like the way Bailey got sacked,
that's what I'm saying.
Blocking,
he's not holding that ball.
Out.
He's
right?
not.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Our O-line is just, and they're all, the thing that bugs me is they're all upperclassmen or graduates. It's like, why are we having these issues on the offensive line?
So
that should not be happening.
I thought they played better this game. As weird as it sounds,
they did play better. This was their best game.
Yeah,
I think
we ran the ball really well.
Yeah, I think they averaged
4.1, 4.2.
4 yards a carry. That's really good.
Yeah, It was
Jordan.
4.8 at the end of the game, but that was, if you're counting.
That's
in all
why I
the
say I don't think the
third
offense
and
was
fourth quarter
so
stuff.
bad. Honestly, I just think the defense was so bad, which is an anomaly for State. And I will say I think we've gone really hard on this. It's somewhat merited, right? But there's so much football left to play, and we can still get there. So I'm not worried totally too much about it. But I mean, I'd be wrong by lying to you if I said I wasn't either. Like, I am worried about State. Like, I could see Stanford went up to Syracuse, and I don't think Syracuse is the greatest thing. Came back and won. Georgia Tech, we got to play Georgia Tech on Thursday night game, right? Cal was 3-0 until they lost to Florida State. So we got to go to Cal to play. I mean, those are games that in my mind, I'm thinking like, already. So
yeah, but I mean, you have teams that start 3-0 and they can lose 3 in a row, right?
Correct.
You have Florida State who's lost the first 3. They could go win the next 3. You just don't know how this is going to play out. So let's let it play out before we jump off the ledge.
And I think kind of to add to this point positively, last year we said the offense was terrible, right?
They still won 9 games.
They had to figure it out, right? They had to figure it out, and they adjusted. This
I know the offense. Go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? But defense, it may be defense this year. It may be Tony Gibson. Like, you're that good of a coach. We all believe you are. Didn't just like, you can do it. Like, they can do it. It's just there's so much time left. I think we're writing this team off just like we did last year.
Exactly.
Shouldn't be done.
And we should be doing that. We should be
But
doing
again,
that.
but again, can we agree though there is a key difference though between last year and this year?
Yes,
That
we know
last year was
Peyton
one
Wilson's
side.
But
not
different
walking to the
sides
ball.
of the ball as well. And I think defense matters more personally. Defense matters more. I agree with that. So I'm not saying that. I agree.
Yeah.
It's just
But
there's
you could
so
go-
much football left.
But if we can figure out and go put up 35 points a game, then your defense doesn't have to be as good, right? You can give up 28 points. But again,
But you have to play
one of
differently.
these sides. Go ahead.
You have to play differently on offense while you're playing right now, though, because your State's not playing, let's go 15 and out. Let's
They're
go
not pushing it.
35.
Yeah.
They're not. And if they're taking the approach you had, Greg, they're going to have to do that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the first time in Dave Doran's career where the offense has to win them games. I feel like Dave Doran's all about defense winning us games.
Yeah, he's a defensive guy. That don't
Get an early lead and just be conservative, let defense win. Maybe it's the first time he has to do another approach.
Yeah,
So-
you're going to have to find some kind of balance. This team, in order to win ball games, if you look at the scores, we had to score 38 the first game. We only scored 10 the second. We had to score 30 the last game, or against Louisiana Tech. We scored 35, but we only scored 7 against their starters. So you're going to have to put up points. If this defense is who they are going to be, and normally after 4 or 5 games, you can pretty much figure out who your team's going to look like, barring any injuries.
Yep.
Yeah, I think to Chilton's
Absolutely.
point, State put up the points they did at the end of the game, making it 35 because they played second and third string guys, and so it's like it's an embarrassing loss. And I think the hard part is it's the way you lost both those games.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sure.
Just
On the national
terrible.
stage.
Yeah.
ABC
Absolutely.
and CBS.
Well,
Maybe
the one biggest thing too, which is disappointing, is now having 3 games at home at Carter Finley in a row at noon for sure. Which, as Greg says, there, welcome to noon football status.
But we're on the CW and we're undefeated on the CW.
Oh yeah,
No, we lost once
What?
Okay,
Yeah,
Greg,
we
we're
did.
objective.
last year.
Greg, shut your mouth.
Greg,
But-
who
Hey,
did we lose to?
we have to be factual here because we're get called out. Believe me.
Who did we
Yeah,
lose
I
to?
know.
Now you're gonna make me go look at it. All right, give me a minute. I'll figure it out. I'll go back.
But
to last year's
the
there.
biggest thing, the biggest point of that though, is that I'm telling y'all right now, because again, we've been blessed enough that we've have a new sponsor this year with football with Oconee Gold, and on the positive side,
Does that stuff work on eggs? Because I'm gonna be making a lot of eggs here.
Well, and you saw my video where we literally, or you maybe you didn't, but I
haven't
posted a
seen it.
video where we made these egg and cheese sliders where you put maple syrup on it on top of it once you
I've made
finish
that
off.
before.
And you make those eggs and cheese with a little bit of Oconee Gold dust, man. That paprika
okay.
and brown sugar flavor gives a little bit of spice and sweetness. Oh, so delicious.
All right.
So that is the one positive. You like that, or I guess I guess the positive is that
The
these
silver
games
lining.
have really pushed me to find new ways to use some of these delicious flavors for sure. Now the sauces, I don't really know if we're going to be able to use much sauce on breakfast items. I mean, I might need to be a little bit creative there, but if I can find a way to,
might be able to use some of that jalapeno like on a breakfast burrito or
So
something.
we bought some. Me and Lindsay got us some ribs today at the grocery store. So I'm gonna have to use some of that sauce. What should I start with? What do you think?
well, the Coney Gold original is always
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be the Coney Gold. I'm just asking which one you think I should start with.
No, the original is what I was saying. The Coney Gold original is a good place to start.
So this is what you do.
Flavor, but
this is what you do. This is what you do. Let's cut those ribs into half racks. All right. So then now you can try a little bit of everything, get a little sampler going on. So use that dust on all of the ribs.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Then you throw your sauce on it, and then you enjoy them.
Amen. I love that little
Greg. Sniffing's not good enough.
Yeah, no. I'll send you some stuff, man. I'll get you right.
I got some Coney Gold. You don't need to send
No. I meant like some tips on kind of making it a little bit better.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. So again, y'all, go get you some of that Coney Gold dust, y'all. Again, it's amazing in all of your meats and even breakfast items as well, as we figured out as well. Go use that link down in the description below. Use the code Tuffy Talk to get 15% off your entire order, y'all. And if your order is over $99, you also get free shipping. So please help us out, y'all. Please help us support our amazing sponsor, Coney Gold. Go buy your steak. I guarantee you, y'all, that you will love what they have to offer for sure. I guarantee.
I'll still have wings out there. We'll still have wings. So,
okay, there we go. So, but again, y'all, they got spicy jalapeno, mustard base. They got vinegar base. You name it, whatever kind of barbecue sauce you roll with, they got it. So go and check it out, y'all. But anyway, though, I want to move on to a clip that got a good bit of talk here today. So let's jump into it.
Them and play hard with them, take strain off of them. It's an opportunity to face adversity and fight harder as a team, and it's a challenge I'm excited to face. I told the team this, I'm built for stuff like this, man. I love adversity, I love obstacles, and I'm going to battle and fight, and your team's going to fight. And, I would ask our fans, as frustrated as they are, to fight with us. And there's a lot of fair weather people and bandwagon people out there in the world these days, and the Wolfpack needs to be the version that's not that way. I watched it last year with our team, and then it came back the right way. I watched it with our basketball team. Like, this needs to be a group of people that supports these kids, because they're going to fight. And having people behind you cheering for you helps. And trust me, all that enthusiasm, passion, and spirit makes our stadium a hard place to play. And we share your frustration in a big way when we don't play well, and know that nobody's more disappointed than I am when that happens. And you're going to get our best, and it's going to be a dogfight. I mean, it's a good football team coming here to play us this week, and challenge laid, challenge accepted. I look forward to the challenge and the opportunity to help these young men become better, and our staff needs to do a great job making that happen.
I don't disagree with anything that he said.
Okay.
At all.
Yeah, you have to wait for the question, Kins.
Well, because all right. So here's my thing.
I understand the point of people getting mad at that.
Well, because I believe it or not,
because here he's about to tell you. He's about to tell you.
Listen. Listen. Even our guy, even Josh Goodson himself, even said he wasn't necessarily crazy about how Doran worded it, and that's my thing.
Yeah,
I see how he said. I see what he was saying, but how he said it, where he said he wasn't saying the NC State fans are bandwagon, but he almost phrased it in a way that he wasn't sure if, like, he kind of had the door open as if some NC State fans are fair weather, which everybody here knows. Every NC State fan knows that there's no such thing as a bandwagon NC, like fair weather NC State.
That's not true at all.
I disagree.
That's not true at all.
I very much
like
agree.
all basketball season.
Wait. Yeah, no. Like there was a reason why there was only
not for football.
No. You just said
2019. There was only 20 people in
we're talking about football here.
2019, there was only like 50 people in the stand.
He specifically referenced
That's
basketball.
what I'm talking about. I'm talking about football. In 2019, we've only won 4 games. No one was at the games. Parents stood with us in the student section. There are fair weather fans. I'm sorry, there are.
But why? Why would somebody want to bandwagon onto being an NC State football fan? over the last 30 years.
He's not necessarily. He didn't mention bandwagon, did he?
Well,
he said bandwagon. He said fair weather. There's a big difference. There's a big difference in bandwagon and fair weather.
I mean, I don't see how. I mean,
I'll get the Webster's out right now and give you the definition if you need it.
I said we thought about it.
We all witnessed it firsthand, football and basketball, just like he said. Yeah. Football 4-3. Everybody was like, "I'm selling my tickets. We're not going to do crap. We're not going to do this." And then everybody was buying bowl tickets and down there in Florida with us. And during basketball season, PNC Arena was practically empty. Mm-hmm. People were talking crap about the players, and then y'all were all in Dallas with us for the Elite Eight.
Mm-hmm. Well, but at the end of the day, though, too, it is on at the end of the day, in my opinion, point blank, I feel like that Doran should have just not mentioned, like, especially too when he mentioned those comments about the fans before the season. It's like, okay, like why, like, can we just stop mentioning the fans? Like the fans, the fans have done everything that Doran has asked them to do between the beginning of 2024 and now. So I feel like that if you are going to mention them, use it as a reminder of, hey, listen, I understand that I have not done my part in terms of putting the best product on the field that we can. But at the end of the day, we still need you guys to help support us, as your support goes a long way to helping us achieve everything we can for the rest of the season. But it wasn't really more of a call to action, in my opinion, but more of I think the first part of it was a call to action, because he's telling everybody, look, we're just as pissed off as y'all are, basically. Stay with us. We're working on it. And I agree with that part. Yes, the way he worded it could have been done better, but it's like, we've got to learn by now. There are people out there that are going to nitpick at anything that man says, and they're going to turn it into a negative thing. And it's like what he said, if you really listen to it and not just trying to like pick out what he said, it's a good point. Because I would have been just as frustrated if I were those guys on the field or on the court last year and had nobody there, and then everybody was hyping me up at the end of the season. Yeah. Like, that's just not something you want to see as a coach or a player.
I'm 100% okay with how he said it. I want a coach that speaks from his heart. I don't want someone that reads from a teleprompter pre-written speech. I want him to be fiery. I'm totally okay. Is it going to rub some people wrong? Yeah, of course it's going to. Like, this is the world we live in now, where 50% of the fan base is going to love you and 50% of the fan base is going to hate you. It's just the divided world we live in. So he's not going to please everybody. So go be your genuine self, and that's who you are. Then that's who you're going to be. I'm ride or die regardless. I just don't know any better.
Right. We're delusional, Greg.
I'm so delusional. Like I was saying, I know Chung was here in the chat earlier. I think he was at the whole ride last year in postseason basketball. Like, some of us just show up, and those that show up, we appreciate you. And then those that want to be fair weather, then go be fair weather. But just remember, I'm done. I don't want to piss anybody off. But
the way I would kind of phrase it, is this your team or not? Like, is it your team?
Yeah.
Are you a real fan or not? Like, I think it's funny. I see some of these Kansas City, just saw someone went up to Kansas City fans or Dallas Cowboys, and they're like, I'm a diehard. Okay, well, where did Dak Prescott go to college? I don't know, or whatever. And so they don't go to games, and they're like, so I think, to me, is this your team or not? Are you going to really, like,
do you embrace them or not?
For me, I will watch the game or listen to the game, even if we lose, because I love my team. So I'm going to support them. Now, you're going to hear me also say that what they played against Clemson was crap. Like, they played terrible. Like, but I also tell you specific things, like Bailey looked good. I didn't think I thought the offense was was pretty good, relatively good. I thought the defense was bad, and I'll call out the problems. I don't want to be like, I know we try to be very positive. I don't feel like we're being that totally tonight, because I don't know if it's warranted. But like, I want to say the good things. Like, you guys know I'm a big basketball guy, college basketball guy, so I'm like pumped for the season coming up. But a little bit. I think there's areas we can get better. But states, I'm as a fan, you can't just walk away when things aren't going well. Yeah. To me, the fans, it's the same. To me, I think those fans are the same fans that leave at halftime and just go hang out in the parking lot. They're there for a good time, and all they care more about a good time than they do about the team, right? And it's like, well, I just care to have fun, and that's fine, but just don't act like you're a super diehard fan either. So it's.
I thought you're the same fans that don't give the NIL. No, I'm just kidding.
There's a giant difference in being frustrated and putting stuff out there saying this team's not going to go 500. This team's crap. This team's not going to do.
Everyone loves a good freaking hot take. Like I think that's really the other thing too, is everybody wants to, like, social media gives everyone a voice, which is a good thing. Like, exercise your free speech. I don't have a problem with that. But also just remember, people are keeping receipts. So when this team turns around later in the season and, you know, has gone, you know, potentially 9-3, just remember.
You don't think the football team and basketball team kept receipts last year? No, like we wrote them off, right? And
for 100%.
State won 6 games.
Oh yeah, Kevin definitely got the last laugh.
I would say State won their 6 games at the end of the season with the hardest part of their schedule, I think, really playing football. So, and again, I totally agree with what Layton says. It's a totally different world with defense not doing well, but they can get there. They can get there. It's going to be all right. Tony Gibson, you guys, and Charlie Wiles, you guys are some really great coaches. Brian Mitchell, DeForest, like let's see what you got. Freddie Autry, Lindsay. See what you guys got.
Look, if you're a coach and you tell me you're going to get it fixed, then go get it fixed. I honestly, we as fans are results driven just as much as the coaches are results driven. Go show me you're going to get it fixed. And then I'm not going to leave you while you go figure it out, but just go figure it out. That's all I need you to do.
Yep. So now moving on to a little bit of positive, and this is for you, Macon, as John Rothstein, college basketball insider with CBS Sports. Say again?
This tweet annoyed me.
Why?
What, about Paul McNeil?
No, which one? Well, he had said a couple things.
The summary. He did a summry video, which I'll show here. But
I didn't see the video. He just said when he was here at NC State, he didn't put no love on the name ACC champion or any of that kind of stuff. He was just.
He doesn't really do that kind of thing. If you watch,
I'm gonna need him to do
it.
Right? We waited years.
That's
for
just
this.
not who he is. He hypes up like the next season, the players now. He doesn't talk about the past.
No. He said he was here in Raleigh, home of NC State. He needed to put home of the ACC champion. That's all I'm saying.
Gotcha.
Give it some respect. That's all I'm saying.
Jonathan even saying, let's talk about some positive. Well, guess what? We're talking some positive right now. So this is a video today of John Rothstein against college basketball insider with CBS Sports and his thought on the NC State team at practice today.
John Rothstein with this Rothstein reaction after watching NC State practice in Raleigh. The Wolfpack looked like they have the potential to be deeper and potentially better defensively than last season's team that won the ACC tournament title and advanced all the way to the Final Four. A couple of under-the-radar pieces for Kevin Keats' squad. We start with 6'5" freshman Paul McNeil, who could find a place in the Wolfpack's rotation, and also Bowling Green transfer Marcus Hill. He's got all sorts of shiftiness, and he sets the table with regularity. NC State has the requisites to be an NCAA tournament team for the 3rd consecutive season under Kevin Keats.
And even more on top of it,
like
Greg,
a suit and tie. Like what? Like just come up casual.
But even more, Greg, he was doing all this hype and all this positivity, and instead of saying, you know, has the potential to be back-to-back ACC champions, that he said, 3rd-time NCAA tournament team. I'm like, well, I want more than an NCAA tournament team. I want back-to-back ACC championships. That's what I want.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's so hard about
well, let's talk about what he was really talking about. Okay, so
you want to hear about Paul McNeil, huh?
Yeah, the dude's gonna be a shooter, and he's got a lot of hype around him. Really athletic guy. I'm really excited about what he can bring to the table for State. He mentioned Marcus Hill. What I heard or read somewhere is he may be the point guard. So we'll see how that goes. But he's a guy, I want to say he averaged at Bowling Green somewhere 20 plus points or somewhere around there.
Yeah.
So he's trying to figure all that out. But I'm excited about what Marcus Hill could do, having him come off, having Paul McNeil being a guy coming off the bench for a shooter when you kind of, you need some relief there. I'm excited about that. So,
yep, amen. So, again, excited about what's State, all the stuff we've been hearing from the basketball world, and definitely a lot of expectations to build off of that momentum that we were able to create, and not, use it as kind of like a one-time thing. Like, we want to use it as a a turning of the page within the NC State college basketball program, in my opinion. But Greg, any thoughts on that? More than even what Macon was mentioning about what stood out to him from John Rothstein's comments?
It's still football season, so I'm not ready to talk basketball.
Fair enough. Well, Carson even coming in the comments saying, "Why not us?" Exactly right. Why not us? I love it. Let's keep that phrase going. I love to hold on.
Honestly, though, real quick, I am curious to see where we're going to get slotted as far as the preseason,
media.
Preseason media. If they're gonna,
if we're gonna get a little respect,
I don't think it'd be high. I honestly don't either. I would be shocked if it's anything higher than 7 or 8. I feel like they're going to put us pretty much right in the middle of the pack.
Yeah.
And we'll see how good the ACC is as a whole, right? Does 7-8 put you, squarely in the tournament now, or is that a bubble, right? The last couple of years we've seen 7, 8, 9 is pretty much bubble status.
Yeah.
So does the conference as a whole take a step, especially with the new additions?
Yeah. Children even saying, when basketball and football are both playing at the same time, it's the most wonderful time of the year. Yep. With today being first official practice for men's basketball, and then tomorrow being the first official practice for women's basketball.
I'll even add to, you got a little fall baseball going on here.
You do. That's right. Playing Duke.
Dude, that's crazy. Why do they normally do that early?
Yeah, it's fall ball.
I just can't remember that. I didn't remember that.
Yeah, we actually have an extra exhibition this year against Elon. That'll be
right.
So normally you only get the one, but the NCAA changed that last year.
Yeah,
freaking softball plays like 6 games.
Yeah, that's right. Which, speaking of too, y'all, I do got to give a huge shout out to softball here real quick. Where
recruiting
a couple days ago they landed a top 75, but in another place she was actually a top 30 overall recruits in the class of 2025 recruiting class.
Wow.
And it was a number 3 overall catcher in the country. And so a huge get for sure for Coach Lindsay Leftwich. And so love what she is building here for sure. So excited to see it. So make sure y'all to go and support softball this year again, all the sports for sure. Right now, I mean, men's soccer, even though they weren't able to get a positive result against UNC on Friday, losing 2-0. Listen, at the end of the day, they're 4-1-2 right now. There's a lot of comments on the loss tweet being like, like, man, like, just like disappointment. I'm like, listen, like give it time, y'all. It's his first season. He's only this is Mark Hubbard's only his first 7 games as NC State head coach, and one loss to UNC, and it's automatically, man, Steph, all right, that's fine. Listen, look at all we've accomplished so far this season, and let the rest of the season play out. So go support men's soccer, women's soccer, you name it. Volleyball even started right now too, is looking promising. So and Carson even pointing out they even do fall tennis and spring soccer as well. So again, we're right in the middle of all things good in NC State right now. So make sure to go enjoy it, y'all. But with that being said, y'all, again, if you haven't already, please do us a big favor. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, y'all. We are on the road to 10,000 subscribers, y'all. And every single subscriber is huge and hugely valuable to us, y'all. So make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, because it's free to do. And if you still love all things in state sports, do us a big favor as well and hit that like button. We greatly appreciate that. Give us a follow, Tuffy Talk now, at Twitter, Instagram, and make sure to go and again get yours of your favorite Coney Gold products as well, your barbecue sauces, your rubs, you name it. Click that link down in the description below. Use the coupon code Tuffy Talk to get 15% off your entire order. And if you're listening to us or rewatching us wherever, you don't necessarily need to click the link in the description below, but all you have to do is go to a Coney Gold barbecue sauces website. And again, use that code Tuffy Talk, get 15% off your entire order.
I'm sorry, I forgot. I used the wingy sauce last night. I totally forgot that
really.
I did actually. We got home. It was weird. I didn't get any chicken wings this weekend because we didn't tailgate, and so I was watching some NFL football last night, and so I told Kristen to say I need some wings, and so we threw some in the air fryer and threw some wingy sauce on it, and they were good, man. That wingy sauce is tangy. Got that tang on it. That's good.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
So anyway, y'all, appreciate y'all again tuning in for sure again into this NC State football therapy session, y'all. So hopefully everybody
calm down.
Let's go win the week and go 1-0.
Let's go win the week. Amen. 1-0. Go beat NIU and see where we go from there. One step at a time. And also to
stay with us. Stick with us, fans.
Stick with us for sure. We got some awesome content coming out here later this week as well. So make sure to stay tuned for that. And again, we'll see y'all soon. And as always, y'all, let's go Pack. Go beat NIU. Let's go 1-0 and win the week. Go Pack, baby.